I would like to start with Mr. Shin Kobing. Can you tell us what sort of power projects are you undertaking currently? Of course, they are hydro, and how big are they?
Actually, our group is a leading renewable group in the world, and so far in China we have, and also outside of China, we have already 75 gigawatts of operational renewable assets around the world. And in the meanwhile, we have 50 gigawatts under construction. Of course, a lot of renewables in pipeline. So CSAIR is a joint venture among IFC Silk Road and the CTG Group, and we are quite focusing in Pakistan. And right now, we have 7 portfolio projects, including 3 wind and 3 hydro and 1 solar hybrid project. We have actually right now for this 7 portfolio, it is almost 2,700 megawatts of in capacity, and total investment is around $6 billion. And I think we are the leading IPPs under CPEC.
Let's talk about Mira Power, and if Mr. Min Bayong, could you just briefly tell about your company, who are the sponsors, and on what projects you are working?
My company, briefly, the Mira Power Limited is a subsidiary of Cohen, who owns 76% of shareholding, and has also established for Gulpur hydropower project, which is located in AJK. And also about Cohen, it is a premier generation company of Korea who owns and generates about 10,000 megawatts in Korea, and it is AA rated state-owned company with an overall asset of $8 million of US dollars. And also I would like to explain our project. And Gulpur hydropower project is the flagship project of Cohen, and is financed by IFC, ADB, and K-Exim Bank. It will have 120 megawatts power capacity with annual generation capability of 465 gigawatt hours. The project site falls administratively in the Kotli district of Azad Jammu and Kashmir, and located about 5 kilometers south of Kotli town on the Punch River, a tributary of Jhelum River. And the project achieved financial closing in October 2015, and to date, 50% of construction is complete, and expected COD of the project in August 2019.
Mr. Sultan Ahmed, can you elaborate a little bit more that going forward, are you looking into other projects, other hydropower projects in Pakistan?
Yes. So, as mentioned by Cohen, by our CEO, that Cohen is a premium generation company of Korea, and they own 10,000 megawatts worldwide. So, Cohen has devised a Vision 2025, in which they are scheduled to add about 3,500 renewable energy into their mix. So Cohen, as is their strategy, and owing to the success of Gulpur hydropower project and owing to the robust policy of Pakistan, has prioritized Pakistan as it's their priority destination, and they have allocated about 1,000 megawatts for Pakistan renewable energy sector. And after Gulpur hydropower project, we have been recently awarded 2 new hydropower projects. One is 215 megawatts Astrid Kadam hydropower project, and second is 197 megawatts Kalam Astrid hydropower project. Both of these projects are located in a which was previously very troubled area. They are located in Swat actually.
Okay.
So with these 2 projects, Cohen will be contributing its part in the energy security of the country, and still we have more appetite to invest in Pakistan. We are looking to invest in wind, and we are looking to invest in solar. So as soon as the opportunities will come, so QNB will be expanding its portfolio very aggressively in Pakistan.
Okay. Mr. Naj, if you could just briefly tell about your company and what sort of projects you guys are doing here.
Okay, thank you very much. So SK Hydro is doing basically the Sugi Kanari hydropower project. So it is a 870 megawatt project, and like Mr. Shah Jahan introduced the project in his presentation as well, we're the first hydropower project under CPEC to achieve financial close. We're also the largest hydropower project to achieve financial close. So the lead investor in the project is China Gazuba Group company, and we're investing about $450 million through equity. So the total project cost is around $1.8 billion. So we achieved financial close on December 31st, 2016, and we expect to be operational in 2022. China Gazuba is doing other projects as well. Gazuba is mainly known as the leader in hydropower construction. So Suki Kinari was the first investment they entered into. So they're doing another project called Azad Patan. It's about 640 megawatts. They're developing it under the LOS, which is to achieve financial close, inshallah, within the year.
Mr. Shin, coming back to you now, you have, of course, identified a lot of opportunities in Pakistan, but there's one more thing that the minister even mentioned in his speech today, that they need to, the government needs to work on safeguarding the interest of the investors. Now, we do know that there's a huge problem about the circular debt in this power sector. So does that bring some sort of fear that, probably you will also get stuck in this mess? And what sort of assurances have you received from the government on this issue?
I think circular debts is not only issue faced by hydro, but wind and also other form of energy as well. But I would say Pakistan, this is a structure issue, and I would say if Pakistan take proper reform, it can the circular debts can be resolved. I would say because while the power crisis came to Pakistan, actually Pakistan has plenty of water, solar, and other kind of renewables. And previously, you have very good setup. You have more than 30% of hydro in place. Why there was and also still, according to our plan, still have around 40 gigawatts of hydro to be developed. So what's the reason? We should first find the reason why there was a power crisis. And here we find a solution to solve the problem. I would say I would say that the circular debts is one of the main reasons. And I would say we are expecting the government can really take some ambition to resolve the issue. And I think by this way it will give confidence to the investor and also give the benefit to the end consumer as well, because once you have resolved all issue, and I would say the tariff will definitely come down through the competition or many kind of reform. As the ambassador of the German has mentioned, we need transparency, not only for the consumer, also for the investor as well, to give confidence. It can be resolved. This is the circular debts is also previously we are facing in China, other developing countries as well. So as far as the government has made determination to give structural reform, I think it can be resolved. Of course, as Mr. Shahjahan has mentioned, we need integrated power plan, and where the demand, what kind of structural reform we want to take. So all the systematic way, in this way, you can safeguard the interest of Pakistan as a whole, not only developer, the end consumer, all the players in the whole field. We are expecting, and we have seen the commitment from the minister. We are expecting some further development under this direction, so that give confidence to the generator, to the IPPs for the transmission line, and also the distribution company. I think Pakistan still has a lot of potential to be developed. It's maybe for the time being a short-term supply, oversupplied. This is a very short term. You have so much population, so many chance of development. I don't think it's a very, in a long run, we should solve the problem of previous crisis. I think Pakistan has a great future in the power sector and in the economy.
So you have brought your expertise, which is hydropower, of course, because you have the biggest dam in the world. So do you think you can sort of help the government in other areas as well, like the distribution companies is a problem, and that is where the circular debt is coming from. So can you bring other expertise as well?
Actually, We have our expertise in China not only for hydro and offshore wind is the second core business of us in China, and also we have some other technology. We have our research center, technology R&D center in Shanghai. Together with the European company, we are doing a lot of work, and we have, as the operator of all the hydropower plants, we have gained a lot of experience. And in the meanwhile, we are expanding our business within China to the extent of to two directions. One direction is for the distributing, another direction is water conservancy. That is related to our existing strategy. So I think we can first, we are actually within the CCL board, including IFC, Silk Road, and our CTG group, we are considering to diversify our investment in Pakistan and also some other potential markets as well.
Okay, now the same question to the three of you, and I'll start with Mr. Sultan, if you can answer that. Do you have this fear of getting stuck in the circular debt crisis, and do you think is this one of the reasons that you probably will be holding on to your future investments? You would wait and see how the current projects that you have they turn out, and this issue is resolved?
Circular debt is definitely a major issue of Pakistan power sector, but as mentioned by Mr. Shin, we need to understand that what is the reason for this. So I think the major issue is basically lies in overall power system and power structure. There could be 2-3 major reasons. In simpler terms, it is the difference between the purchase price and the selling price. So if we see the transmission system and distribution system of Pakistan, we have line losses or technical losses of like around 30%. Then we have energy theft and other lot of structural issues. So I think with the current government, and third thing definitely is the pricing, the basket price of electricity. So if we can work, if the government can work on these 3 areas, like on the structuring, that how the transmission and technical losses can be reduced, how the power theft can be controlled, and how the basket price can be brought down, then definitely this issue can be resolved, but this is definitely a long-term issue. So we understand this issue, and we believe that this is one of the major issue for us while coming in Pakistan, but still we believe the way government is working at the moment, I mean, on the competitive bidding, the basket
and
price
are you
lowering.
encouraged by the steps the government is taking?
Yeah. Over the last 4-5 years, I think we have been observing this sector very closely, and we have seen a significant improvement overall. So based on that, that is the reason we have invested in 2 more projects, and we are willing to do. But definitely we believe that with the next governments, this push will continue, and they will keep on working on the structural reforms and lowering the overall pricing and removal of subsidies as well.
The real thing is progress. If we take small steps, keep moving forward, I think these kind of problems can be solved. So for Suki Kanari, for example, it took about 10 years for the project to achieve financial close. Not because of one specific reason or the other, because it was a large hydropower project, and to bring in a couple of $1 billion financing for such a greenfield project in Pakistan was difficult. So as we moved along, we faced with many difficulties, but with the help of the government, successive governments, with the help of PPIB, we were able to overcome them. So obviously going forward, circular debt is a problem, but for instance, for CPEC project, what the government has done they have set up a sort of a revolving account with the power purchaser. So a portion of the advance invoices will be received by the company. So there are steps being taken, and like Mr. Sultan said as well, it's just progress. If we continue moving forward, I think this problem can be resolved, and developers will be encouraged to invest in the power sector.
Okay, and Mr. Malik, your brief comment on this?
Yes, briefly speaking, with the reducing the power theft and improving the transmission losses, I think we can overcome this thing. And the management of the discos is very important.
Okay, lastly, of course, the hydro power generation is cheap. So do you think this will help? And, because one of the big issues that people of Pakistan face, and they always question, okay, we need cheap electricity. Mr. Shin, is this going to be possible, and what do you think the tariff will be for your projects?
Almost 200 2,050 megawatts. I think our tariff compared with the thermal, not only actually, let me explain. Our tariff is competitive with other form of energy, not only like thermal power, and also maybe right now the wind and also the solar, the price is a little bit lower than the hydro. But considering the storage cost, percentage of waste, I think overall the cost of hydro is still the lowest. This is our position. But still we will see how far the other form of like solar or wind is going down. But I think hydro is very reliable, and in the winter season it can be served as a peak load, and also in the summer season it can be used as a base load as well. And we are thinking last time as a committee member consulting to the existing minister, I was one of the member give my advice. I would say the government should form a policy to encourage the development of hydropower. Many ways we can jointly further brought down the tariff for hydro, make it more competitive and also welcome by the end consumer. We have many rooms, like we can introduce more local financing. We can specially send some fund. We can introduce the competitive mechanism and other ways as far as to maintain transparency. But however, this need to get the whole system working, not only one aspect, as you are just now mentioning, circular debts and some other potential issues. That's why I really appreciate, as Mr. Serena said, we need a real integrated power plan so that make it affordable for the end consumer, and also it is welcomed by the investor as well. This is a very comprehensive policy we need.
And you have communicated this to the government and they are working on it?
Yes, yeah, they're working on. We
Okay.
are, yes,
Okay,
all right.
great.